from we say Kansei Kiwao is hello to you all. So anybody that wants to say say that phrase in their language, type it in. We'll make an attempt at pronouncing it right. Kansei Kiwao, hello you all. Give us a shout out where you're from and what language. You can say hello to you all. And so give us a shout out. Oh, people are arriving. Tansei Kiawao. Hello, you all.
What is up, everybody? We are live. We are here. Good to see everybody kind of coming in. We got Alice in the house. It says Allison says dance. So obviously, Nihio in the place. Let us know where you're watching in from. We're checking in with you guys live like we do. I think this is our. I don't know. Look, we got Uki. Uki Shikabe. Hoo-ha. So all our people from Southern Alberta coming into the house here. Nate, go ahead. What is that?
Ooh, I Cecile. I Cecile. What language and where you from? Is that yeah, I'm not sure where that's from. But that was my best at it.
Shulet, Kansas Californians. We even got Powhatan saying what's up. Hey, broski. Who is that?
The Power Times family. The
Yeah,
extended family.
Shikoli from Wisconsin. Greeting from the Chumash land. That's you again, Nate.
Chicon.
Sh-
Chicon.
Chicon. Watching from Florida, USA. Man, I wonder what the weather's like over there. If you're still in your shorts and t-shirt and walking in the sun, I have no idea. Daryl Breton, Arlington, Texas. What's up? Okay, we got lots of people coming in. Transit from Regina. Oh, on the transit. Do they still have the green limousines there, or is it a different color transit system there? I don't know. St. Louis, Missouri is here for a bit. Good to see you. Many blessings to you both and your families. Nanaskaman. Nanaskaman. Ginsuksipe. Love it. Oh, see yo. Dikuna. All right. Hi from Colorado. Everybody, it's really good to be here. We even got what is your dog's name again, Nate?
Prince, Mister.
Mister. We got Mister in the house as well. You guys could say what's up to that. Mister Victoria, BC, Arlington, Texas. We got Camrose just down the block from where I am over here. I thought this was my account, but logged in. Clicked here
Maya,
live.
Mexico, New York City.
We got New
Nice.
York. We got Kentucky. Kentucky, we're all loving KFC originated in Kentucky, I believe, and spread out and fed a lot of indigenous people across the North American lands. Noah from the Pawnee Country, Oklahoma. Robbie White. I'm a men's fancy dancer. Really appreciate the culture in Oklahoma and all the stories I've heard about the fancy dance coming from there. And truly love I love to go there and really sit down with the elders over there and get that men's fancy, more of that men's fancy background. Nate, from your backyard.
Yep, Dance from Ochapowa's Cree Nation. I'm actually adopted by John and Wanda Watson from Ochapowa's Cree Nation.
Mm-hmm,
So I
mm-hmm.
have some family over there. Cowoods
Tennessee
and
in the house.
Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee in the house.
We got Maya. Okay. I like that name. Okay. What's up?
Maya, Mexico.
Okay. Hi, I'm full Native American. My tribe is Saxon Fox and Chippewa. I'm Bear Clan. My name is Loren Johnson. Thank you for coming here and being here with us. Every week, me and Nate will come in. We'll check on everybody on the Powhatan's family and kind of see how everybody's doing. And we kind of integrate you into this conversation. This is not one of those like a podcast or anything like that as well. We just want to talk and see what's going on in Indian
Well, I'll give you
country.
guys an update, really give you an update about our land back movement. You know, we're pursuing some land and we're ready to be some landowners, some, you know, part of the land back movement and try to do it how our ancestors did. So
Mm-hmm.
finding ways to connect people and get them involved in making suggestions and giving us ideas. You know, we want to do some regenerative agriculture, would like to connect with anybody that has experience maybe raising bison. You know, like these are
Mm-hmm.
some things we're considering, you know, and maybe you guys have some ideas that we haven't thought of. You know, we want to even work on building sustainable housing and you know, doing things like water capture and
Mm-hmm.
gray water systems, you know, recycling different things, you know, for houses, organics, composting, things like that. So
Yeah.
we want to get you
Susan.
guys in there, get you involved, and get you in the loop.
Yeah, and we got some good updates from, you know, our past conversations with you guys. This is a conversation with you guys really, and we talked about that land back movement and kind of our vision of where we're moving forward. And since then, there's been people who reached out to us. There's been emails going back and forth. People who have land, who have resources, and wanting to work with kind of what we were doing. And so we got some really cool updates coming up with that. What's up, Dale from Fort Yukon, Alaska? That's such an opposite kind of area from Florida. So I wonder if the weather is all like very different. Is it Gia Aguilera from New York City? That's one place I haven't been is New York City. Nate, did you go to New York yet?
No, I flew through there to go to Boston. That was it. I
Yeah,
went to
that was it.
Boston.
Yeah, that's still a dream of mine to go down to New York. West Virginia in the house. What's up, Ralph? What's up, Thomas Fletcher from Sky Valley, California, watching Sky Valley, man. That sounds really cool. We had a meteorite that came through the other day. I believe that was Monday, about 6:30 a.m. Nate, it went by your area through Calgary, and I guess they seen it in Saskatchewan as well. Let me know if any of you guys seen that meteorite early in the morning on, I believe it was Monday. Dakota Whitlow Shikon, hello from Six Nations, Ontario. One of my favorite places to visit is Six Nations. Tacoma, Washington. I love all the Mexican food in Washington, man. So just good to see everybody. Yacht the A from Los Angeles. What's up? LA in the house. I'm from Denver, Colorado. Cola. Love it.
What tribe is that? Yatta A.
Yacht the A. I know.
Share your tribe. Share your tribe. Your greeting and your tribe. So we're familiar with what greetings go with what tribes, and that helps us. Yeah.
Hello from the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, South Dakota. You know
Answer.
what's up, guys? Nate, go ahead and with this word.
Kawatsun. Kawatsun, BC, Canada. What, you know, there's different tribes in BC. You know, Squamish, and they have a lot of tribes there. So I'm not sure, but
Mhm. Black
that's
Simon, Canada, Quebec. I think we got like all kinds of all corners here represented, and honestly, I could spend all day kind of going through everybody here. And I want to know if I could powwow online. Hey, there's a powwow coming up online. It's with the Bow Valley, and I believe I shared it on our Powhatimes page. If you want to go to our Powhatimes page, there's it tells you how to register, and basically it's an online powwow, and you need to put in a video, and you just submit your video of your dance category, and on their website it has all the songs that are ready to go for your category. So if you want to do if you want to powwow online, there's a powwow coming up. And Nate, I think people want you to run for council.
hey.
Colin Stonechild said, "Hey man, you guys are. I mean, Nate, you're a good leader, and you're always doing great things. That you should you should
I'll
run
be
for
the
that."
council to you're the chief.
Yeah, my fam are card holders, native pride in the house. Look at someone been smoking buffalo meat for 12 hours and a smokehouse.
Yes, we want to have that part of our land back movement also. So things like that, those are teachings I'm sure our ancestors will be proud to know that we're carrying on.
Hmm. So here's a good question. Maybe this could start off our conversation and kind of ask the crowd. But the big question this year that I've been hearing, especially because I have a big powwow family. Are we going to powwow this year? And I see a lot of some of the online kind of programming's coming back, online powwows. I know social distance powwow online. That group, there's a big group on Facebook. They're always posting, online specials, things like that. But are we gonna gather in person? I seen a couple powwows, Little Shell. I believe that's North Dakota area.
Just just no bringing snagging blankets. No snagging blankets allowed at these powwows because of social
Yeah.
distancing. No teepee crawling. Nobody want to pass around COVID.
Yeah.
So
We got the Pekani Nation, Montana Old Style Grass Dancer. Here's the thing, we've been talking about land back and amen for the land back movement. Prayers to Reb Deb Halen and hearing committee for Deputy of Interior. You know what? We've been so we've been kind of game planning, kind of getting land, acquiring land, and doing some things, and we really wanted to do it in a way where it wasn't political. So like if we went and did something on the reserve, there's always going to be talks of chief and council and what are you doing, and BCRs and all kinds of regulations and things like that. So we didn't want any of that. We wanted to figure out how could we do this on our own, and how could we just get land and start bringing people there, maybe taking them hunting, growing our own food sovereignty and things like that. And then the next, so we when was that? Maybe about 3 weeks ago we talked about that, right? The week
yeah,
after that, we had a bunch of emails come in, and a bunch of people saying, hey, you know what, we got land and this and that. But it was kind of out of the way, and also just kind of what we were envisioning. It was just kind of a lot of back and forth, and then we had a bunch of people who were willing to help out, who were willing to volunteer, who had the knowledge of sustainability, being in agriculture, creating trails, doing all kinds of stuff like that. And then, so that was cool. We started to make really good connections, and also looking at some grants and some programs that we could utilize to acquire land and to acquire different resources that we might need. And today, we had a really good I had a good chat with a man from Minnesota, so kind of close by my reserve. And what he does is he does what are they called, sea cans, hydroponics. So basically in a sea can, 40-foot sea can, you can grow all kinds of leafy greens and vegetables and all kinds of anything you really want to grow. And it takes about 6 weeks to get a yield. And then every 6 weeks, you could have a harvest that you could bring to the market, that you could feed the people, that you could donate some to the food bank, things like that. And so it was a really cool conversation of how that all worked and how it all ran. And they basically come in and they teach you all of it. They teach you from ground up, and here's how to take care of it. Here's how you seed it. And it runs on a computerized system. So you hook up the water, and the water kind of wets everything at certain times, and the light comes on certain times and gets all of that. And basically, he said 12,000 pounds of leafy greens a year you can get from one sea can. And I called Nate right away. I was like, hey, we got this cool thing. And so the one thing we were missing was a place to put it. And I was kind of thinking, beside my house, there's a little area there that I might be able to do it. But right away, I called the town that I live at, because they're trying to do some reconciliation stuff and make space for Indigenous people. And I called them up. I know the people within the city, and said, hey, we need some space because we have this plan. And so that went real quick. Because I know the people who run culture within our town here, and they're gonna have a meeting to open up some space for us to put this sea can in and start growing some vegetables. So we're moving along pretty good from just speaking it to like getting it into fruition, which is really really cool. um, and that's kind of the update of what's been happening, and things have been happening really really quickly, which is really cool. And there's a couple other great movements out there. Here's one, land back, OCPA think.org posts slave owning past remains problem for Choctaws. So I don't know what that is. It's kind of maybe an informational piece about the area down south there. Uh, but a lot of great things happening, guys, and we wanted to come and check in and let you guys know. Also, part of the conversation we had a few weeks ago was we said we are going to buy a bunch of books for some youth, and a lot of you guys put in your input of some really good books to that we should read and that we should get. And I happily to say that a lot of those books are ordered and they're on their way. So we're going to be able to distribute a bunch of books, indigenous topic books, to a bunch of the youth, which is really really cool. And so thank you guys for all of that. All
Yeah. You know, and that's something to consider, you know, before you know, in the early 1900s, when our people were given land to work and to farm, we got too good at it for, you know, and we
Mm,
started getting taken advantage of. We started doing better than the colonizers, and pretty soon they saw like they made it illegal for us to grow our own food. And you know, like there's all those systems designed to oppress us, and this is not the case anymore. Well, there's systems still there, but we have the opportunity to get land and develop our systems how we had them hundreds of years ago. So that's part of the land back movement, is getting back to that, connecting with the land by growing food sovereignty, you know, showing our young people, our youth, how to do that so they could pass that on to their children. And yeah, just being our own sustainable economies again, and building those economies, teaching other people how to live sustainable and how to provide for their people, especially, you know, food. That's one of the rights that was taken from us. So it's good to pursue that again.
hmm. Are there any great charities that help many indigenous groups? I feel like it'd be great help. You know what? I haven't really found any foundations. Usually, foundations are the ones that would act as charities, and they would get all the donations, and then they would distribute it amongst. Actually, you know what? There's a really good program called CRE, Canadian Roots Exchange, and what they do is they get money from all kinds of places, and they distribute to programs that service communities, indigenous youth. It's called Canadian Roots Exchange. I'm not too sure about United States. Maybe someone could chime in here if they know any great charities for United States. But we are a nonprofit here in Power Times. If anyone wants to write a big check here and send it our way, that we'll more than likely take it, and we'll use it directly for our projects. We have 0 employees, so there's no employees with us. Everything goes back into programming. Everything goes back into, servicing the youth, and hopefully feeding a bunch of people as we go. And then we have this huge question here. Um, it's not fully on here, so I'll read it up to this point. I have this question. Dude is a project, and I feel that needs to be brought to fruition. And this is where natives use to tell stories about native history, but it's done in like children animation style. So it would be the children being the voices. I'm just gonna read it as just right here, being the voices of the animated characters in Cell on, but as a way of preserving history and teaching this generation the history that has not been talked about within our school systems. What do you think, and do you think it's worth trying? Definitely, I think it's definitely a thing to do. We have a lot of stories that we've got from the past passed down to us, and for a gift to my wife, I printed out all these stories that it goes 8 generations up, I believe, and I love to animate them and get that into kind of a cartoon style, give so the youth could see all these old stories. But I think it's a great idea, and there's a lot of grants out there. There's a lot of programming out there for anyone who wants to take that on. It's something that we'd love to branch out into because we have a large, pretty decent YouTube channel with a lot of viewers, and I think our audience would really enjoy that, as well as on our Facebook. But definitely, I don't know, maybe if there's anyone here that's an animator and wants to partner with us in a way to give back, reach out to us and reach out to Paul the Jean.
Yeah,
And
that's something we talked about too. Hey, Pat, was
yeah.
just kind of how to get these stories that we have, or that we like we've actively um, sought and learned from, and how to get them to a greater audience. And one of the
Mhm,
ideas was to animate them and
mhm,
produce that into getting generating interest, and see if it could be made into even a film, or a Netflix series or something like that. So yeah,
mhm,
that's something we'd definitely like to explore, just to get our indigenous stories to a wider audience, and have them learn what the Western society purposely left out of the school system, so we'd lose our identity. Essentially, that was their whole mission. So be
mhm.
like actively finding information, actively trying to learn about your history and your ancestors. That's part of reclaiming our identity. So it feels like we have to find a way to keep that information alive.
For sure. One thing I thought about too was, I don't know if any of you guys watch anime, but anime could get really graphic at times. And, part of our history is very graphic as well. To be very truthful to that and kind of the things that we went through. And I think we could have a pretty honest anime series that would kind of tell those stories, which would be really cool. There was a mention about enjoying our daily videos that we post here, and to have more Southern videos. You're absolutely right. We need to have more Southern videos on there. It's just that a lot of our work was done by volunteer work, and so these are people who traveled to whatever POW they could get to. And since we're out here in Canada, we don't get too much Southern drums. And so when POWs open up, we do plan to, I want to come down to Ponca. I want to come down to Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Red Earth, right? Different POWs down that way, Kansas.
Maybe you can assign somebody down that way. You're
Yeah, definitely. And
you're
if
the
anyone wants,
regional manager of that area.
yeah, if anyone wants to, be a recorder for Power Times, let us know. If you're in the Oklahoma area down that way, get some of that awesome southern songs. We'll add you as an editor here, and you could publish all the southern content, and that'd be so awesome. But yeah, I've been down. I danced at Durant, Oklahoma one time. That was my only time I danced in Oklahoma. But I would love to come down there, and I always feel really blessed to dance to those Southern fancy dance songs because they're so rocking. A few years ago, I was awakened and I really connected to my ancestors. Loved the help and support. And you know what? If any way Power Times could be a bridge to culture, I feel like we're doing our job, and I'm so glad that you're finding that way. Elizabeth Clark says we need to teach in schools, and this would be a good platform.
Yeah, it would be, there's an agenda, there's that political agenda. We have to occupy those positions, that sets these educational agendas and these educational curriculums. And their system is designed to keep us
Hmm.
at bay from designing their curriculum. So it would be great to be right in a classroom teaching our own history to the people that are visiting on this land. But I think in reality that's still could be 40, 50 years. But
Hmm.
um that's something we can definitely encourage our youth to pursue these positions, you know, occupy these positions where they have these systems designed to keep
Hmm.
this knowledge and history out of the school books. Like right here in Alberta, they try to get rid of the residential school teachings from, you know, the curriculum
Hmm.
and they, you know, they received backlash from that because they, yeah, it was wrong to try and erase that from the school curriculum, like.
Hmm.
So encourage your youth to pursue, you know, these positions, political positions, education, legal, you know, all of these colonial systems, they need to be
Hmm.
infiltrated by our people that have, you know, the real interest of the people and at heart, you know. So pushing our own agenda, you know, we have to strategically do that.
And part of the plan is, oh, I get a little feedback here. Um, when we have our own land and we acquire our own land, that the schooling part of it is going to be embedded in that land, so we can get the kids learning our ways and our systems. And you know, you only need 8 students to have formally have your own school. If you didn't know that, you know, if you wanted to start your own school, you just need 8 registered students and you're ready to go. So you know, that's part of the plan in the future here is to to start doing our own thing, our own ways. How about an evening story time with an elder who sits and tells stories?
That'd be a good one. Yeah. A session, the elder session, Power Times elder sessions.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we need some good storytellers, some elders to be as we expand, you know, we're starting to what I like to do though is I really like to take care of my elders. So whenever they're working, and I know a lot of elders, they don't require, you know, they'll say they don't need anything, but I love to take care of them. You know, give them that protocol, that tobacco, give them some gifts. And I love to give them honorarium because, you know, they got to live too. They got to pay for bills. They got grandchildren they want to take care of. And I love being able to provide for them. And so, you know, when I, for us, it's just a matter of resources, and we want to take care of our elders and make sure that their time was well spent with us. And so we could do that. Definitely get a bunch of elders here to talk.
And I think it makes sense because they have the experience, they lived the experience, and it's like they have their masters in indigeneity, but yet, you know, somebody with their masters from a Western colonial institution, they get paid 100 grand a year, and you know, they just learned for 5 or 6 years in school, but yet they're making this, you know, this wage or this career off of going to school for 5 or 6 years. Yet our elders lived this life for 50, 60 years and they have that knowledge, but yet nobody wants to pay them as if they have their masters or their doctorates in that knowledge. So
Hmm.
you know, just finding ways to compensate for their knowledge and you know, contribute to them sharing that knowledge.
Hmm. You know, the little people, it's pretty cool how almost every tribe I've been to has a version or a story of the little people. And so, you know, for me, it's a real thing. And I know I have families who and close friends who grew up seeing them all their lives, right? The little people. So uh, I heard too, like with hunting, you know, you almost give honor to them because they said that they help push those animals out to you. And so you know, you give great thanks to them when you're out hunting and you end up catching something for them to push those animals out.
Leave a piece of meat or something, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, a version of reading Rainbow, the native version. And
Yes. Inhale ancestral teachings. Yes.
exhale. Let's just do that right now. You ready? Inhale, exhale.
That colonial BS. Yeah. Exhale that colonial BS.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It, that reminds me, you know, like that time I had, or I found wild mint, and I didn't have anything but some moose jerky. So I offered some moose jerky. I didn't have any tobacco with me, so I offered some moose jerky to pick some wild mint, and it just felt right. You gotta give something for taking, right? So
Exactly, have that balance. And you know what? Nate gave me some of that tea, and it was really awesome. Oh man, I threw a little bit of honey in there though, and it just made it mm, just crisp, and it was so good.
yeah,
Uh, so it says yes. The little statistics minority make only 20% of medical professionals.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's another industry we could we should encourage our youth to occupy those upper echelon positions. There's a lot of stories of mistreatment to indigenous people in the healthcare system. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Which is crazy. And I know you were talking about how a lot of indigenous people were really good growers in agriculture. They understood the land and they were growing, outperforming farmers. And they put a law. They did an amendment to the Indian Act during that time, and where we needed a pass and we needed a sales system to be able to sell outside of the reserve. And many times they would allow all the settlers and colonizers to sell all their farm products first. And by the time they came back to the indigenous people, our crops were already, they were not good for sale anymore. And so we were missing out on all those sales. And it was a funny dilemma because they were saying we want indigenous people to be a part of society and to live and to be equals. That's what they were saying. But in reality, we were getting the short end of the straw all the time, and we couldn't participate selling our agriculture, and we couldn't even. Um, the thing about indigenous people is we do things collectively, and they wanted us to do things individually and to be kind of your own person within the land. But our way was always to do it collectively. And so when we tried to band together with other bands to buy like equipment and farm equipment and things like that, we had to go through an Indian agent to discuss that purchase. And many times that Indian agent would say, nope, you can't do it. And so we couldn't even, get the supplies and the resources that we needed to actually, progress. And so it kept us, really boxed in and couldn't do really anything. And
yeah,
tough, right? And so now we're at a place where we're seeing a lot of resurgence. We're seeing a lot of indigenous entrepreneurs, artists out there, doing some really great things and making an impact in the world. And but it's a tough thing. It's a tough balance because um, at one side we're trying to be living in this
Western.
westernized kind of world frame, and then at this other time here, and I know a lot of indigenous people are just trying to find themselves, trying to find who they are, their nixigas, and kind of their who they come from, where they come from, their heritage, their connection to their mother and their father. And so it's a tough balance sometimes to figure it out. But the for me the answer has always been on the land. And when you're out there in the middle of nowhere and you're alone, there's just something about that just can't be explained through words. And
And I feel like that's a way to heal a lot of our people and their traumas. And like we have the highest suicide rates, the highest incarceration rates. Well, I'm sure if we find a way to connect them back to these land-based teachings and this land-based learning, where they find a connection with who they are, that's where
mhm,
they would be able to heal their traumas and live a better life. It would be something worth exploring and trying, not with just our youth, but also the ones in the prison systems, or the other institutions that keep them, that don't really help them, and it's designed to keep us there. It's a whole industry designed to profit off of the suffering of people. So
Mm-hmm.
And most of our people are the ones do the the ones that are suffering. So finding a way to strategically turn that around and help our own people, and connecting with who they are and getting back to this land-based education, I think those are some of the core issues I think we can address. So in time, I'm not saying this is going to happen, tomorrow or next year. It could take 20, 30 years, but we're just putting it out there, letting, we want to start something, shifting the mentality for not just, our people, but future generations also.
Exactly. You know, I was had the pleasure of hanging out with John Sinclair, Elder John Sinclair here, and he has been working in the prison system for 20 years and helping heal people in there. And he does the medicine wheel approach and kind of takes them through. Not really digging into their past and childhood like a therapist would, but kind of letting them know where those traumas come from. You know, like the impacts of our people, what we went through, why why you feel that way, and why you have this hurt, right? And then they go into sweats after that, after this big talk, and have sharing circle discussions and follow-ups where they're really connecting with the people who were in that system, and to help them integrate back into society and help them find jobs and things like that, right? But you know, you were
Yeah.
just talking about those ceremonies and healing, and it just made me think about that. So
Yeah.
amen, we need more healing ceremonies. And one of the things too, you know, I think about our indigenous men a lot, and you know, how you know, we were so, back in the day, it was an honor to be out there and to be a warrior and to be brave. And I feel like, you know, a lot of indigenous men, not speaking for everyone, but you know, I see a lot that are lost in their ways of, you know, finding out what an indigenous male should
The
look like,
role.
right? The roles and things like that, and just helping them come back to the land, helping them be a provider and a hunter and a protector again. And you know, how they really respected the woman. That isquil comes from the, you know, isquitil, the fire. The woman is the fire, and you know, the provider of life. And so to look at them that way again, and I feel like the systems, the Indian Act really shifted everything. And so us men have to kind of get back to that and figure out what roles are we played back in the day, and get back to that, right? And so
And we still need warriors, and that are
mhm,
engineers, and that are lawyers, and even politicians. As long as you have a good heart and the interest of your people at the center of your initiatives and your pursuits, I guess. So
mhm.
well, land warriors, educated warriors, as long as yeah, just doing good for the betterment of all our people and future generations too. So it's a good
Where,
movement.
yeah, and where I'm from, the Nihao Cree people. So the I know a lot of different tribes too. The women, you know, they were the keepers of the teepee, and you know, that was the part of what they did. And so my wife, who is a Cree woman here at Nihil, she's taking that journey back to really learn about the teepee, learn how to create it from scratch, how to do family paintings on the teepee, and setting it up. And
Excuse me.
no worries, brother. And then just like kind of going back to that role, because it was said kind of in my area that the men kind of took it over after a while. They kind of took over the teepee and setting it up and teaching about it, but really that was originally the women's thing. And so some of the elders were saying it's time to give that back, time to give that back to the woman. And so I thought that was kind of really cool, you know, to that she's taken that journey to learn about it. And she's going to set up a family teepee at our house, our home fire area, and we're going to do a lot of you know, our morning prayers in there and things like that. So
Yeah.
pretty
So
cool.
maybe share, like, people want to put in the chat some things about their journey of reconnecting with their identity. Yeah.
How's it going? Nate?
Hi, hi. Mm. Uh,
Weatherford, from Weatherford, Oklahoma. I don't know if you're from Weatherford, but that's where that
oh,
name comes from. Look,
somebody's thinking about me out there.
when you sneeze, Nate, someone is thinking about you. So
Oh,
I wonder who it is. But yeah, you know what? It feels good to check in with you guys, let you know that there's some real people behind this page, and that we're working hard for you guys and doing what we could. We did get a lot of people register for our website as well, but no one wrote anything yet, no blogs yet. So we got to get some trying to get some writers out there to tell your stories and share your stories from where you are, from your lands. We'd love to have that on our page and share that with everyone else, because I think there's a lot of people who are looking to connect with their culture. And sometimes it's hard because, you know, we're Cree over here, and let's say a different culture messages our page and they're a different culture. I would love to be able to send them that information somehow. So if it's on our some of those stories are on the website, it'd be cool to forward that, right?
just have to create some virtual tobacco, you know? Find a way
Hmm.
to virtually send tobacco. Here's my offering. Send you some virtual
Oh, oh,
tobacco.
wow.
How
It is
about?
the woman who builds and owns the home. Exactly, right? And so my wife's gonna get that knowledge back and go and learn all of that from some of the old elders that are around here who still carry on those ways. And so um, she's gonna take that journey. I know it's gonna be a tough one and really learning about it. And so I'm very proud of her for doing that. Lady Martinez says, "Om, I
Om.
Om."
Om.
Shout out to the Poma tribes. Hopefully, you guys are doing good that way. Where is the Poma tribes, bro? Do you know that?
Pomo. No.
Pomo, Pomo tribes. Facts. So looks like
Hey, does anybody
Somali.
watch Meat Eater out
Yellow.
there? You remember that Meat Eater episode
Which one?
with the fish where he takes them? They were in Guyana and he takes them deep upriver, like his
Mm,
their
yeah.
ancestral hunting grounds, their ancestral fishing areas, and Rovin Alvin, yeah, that was an amazing episode. I'd like to be able to do that to for visitors. You know, have an eco tourism setup like that.
Eco tourism, cultural exchange kind of things.
Yeah,
Basket weaving, rug weaving, and making blue corn mush always bring a sense of harmony and resilience from ancestors. That's so dope, man. You know, we have I have a brother here. He lives in my reserve. He married into my family, and he's from California. And his family, they do a lot of basket weaving, and so we're going to be doing that with him, the Tahuka family. So awesome. So the Poma, Northern California. Uh,
okay.
love and blessings. Seriously, thanks for the conversation. Matriarch is important, and we need and what we need are warriors for sure. Young men are warriors with your words. Thank you so much. I need to go back to my homework. So love to you both in a good way. Yes. Gistamina Sagitina. Wow. Much love to you too as well. And then Naskamun, thank you so much. Oh, Robbie White. Years. Or is it
I think you
yes,
meant
yes,
the
sir?
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Things
sir.
like that. Yeah, man. So it feels good even though this is virtual. It kind of seems like we're at a powwow and we're sitting around a fire, or all sitting down near the arbor, and the men's fancy is coming up, but we're all visiting before before anything happens, and we're all sitting down together
Before the battle begins.
before the battle begins. So it kind of feels that way a little bit right now. Just sitting down with you guys, and got my Diet Coke, just like I would at a powwow. But the other day was really cool. I drove down to Saddle Lake, Alberta, and I did a show with Northern Cree, World Championship Grammy nominated drum group. And supposedly I didn't get too much of the story, but the videos that we created were I think might be for the upcoming Grammys. And so they're going to use some of that footage for that. And then it's going to be on, I think, global TV and city TV news. So we did some shows and did all that. So that was pretty cool experience to put on the outfit again and dance. I didn't share it on Power Times at all, but oh, we did. I shared some of the singing. They did a round dance song live, and so I shared it on here. If you guys want to go back and check it out, it was really good. But that was awesome to dance again, and that's kind of what this feels like right now. Just us sitting down, posting up your comments, and it's like we're talking to you guys.
Talking about a land back movement, some
Mhm.
things we want to accomplish.
Yeah,
Go, let's go.
yeah. Hey, brothers, Brian Deschamps. Here's a indigenous entrepreneur, and you know what? He has a very unique little business plan. He's getting some, I believe, are pit bull dogs, and he's breeding them. And he's has a little. If anyone are dog lovers, he helps provide you with a companion. Like Nate has his little dog there, Mister, right there. People love their dogs, and so he has a little business. So if you want to reach out to him, reach out to him. Yep, energy is currency no matter what form: email, text, and Zoom. And you're right. You know what? I rarely drink any carbonated drinks, and now I just have one here because my mouth is super dry. But Diet Coke, zero sugars, no calories, probably still harmful. But water is life. He said that's totally correct. A Northern Cree shout out for sure. Steve, always a good buddy. He took me out to New Orleans Jazz Festival before COVID, so I really appreciate that. We did a bunch of performances there. And Brian says American Bullies. That's the dog that he has. So, Brian, what's your Facebook page? Let everyone know what that Facebook page is, and give you a little bit of love, a little bit of shout out to our indigenous entrepreneurs. One thing, Nate, and you could talk about it too, is I think what we really need to do nowadays is support each other. And I feel like anytime someone is starting to do good, we bring them down and we start, saying some negative things about them, and you know, really pushing their spirits down. And I see a lot of communities struggle with that, to really support our people who are winning. And so, we need to just, maybe put our egos aside sometimes and just cheer them on. And the more successful indigenous people we have, the more references our youth have to see that there are successful indigenous people out there. Because in movies, right, all the heroes are not indigenous people. They're like Superman, who is a colonizer. No, I'm just kidding. But all these heroes, they're not in, right. So we need to push our people up and buy their stuff and support their businesses, and and sup- buy their raffle tickets and all that, and just support as much people as we could. And I know we do that a lot with Power Times. When people are selling things, we'll buy and support. But yeah, anyway, I feel like I'm rambling on that, but
No, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, yeah, and just find a way to work collectively. We don't need to be trying to outshine or outdo each other. I think it's in our DNA to work collectively to accomplish something, and
Mhm.
just finding ways to do that. So
Awesome, awesome. Justin, I think you're late to the party. Justin Tukro, how is everyone? But awesome to have you on, man. We've been having a great discussion here. We have a lot of people kind of tuning in, but we have Shelly here with a question about the drummers. I love the videos of all the drummers from all over. I see all male drummers, even in my own tribe. Can you tell us about this? Is it mostly men? A tradition? I'm curious. I could just tell you what was told to me, and I know a lot of different tribes have different stories, and I've been able to travel around a lot. And what I heard is that drum was a gift from the women. And if you ever see that circle of that drum and you turn it around, put it by your belly, it's like that pregnancy of a woman, right? And that circle is like the base of a teepee, or the circle of the moon, or the four, directions in that circle that we have. But I heard it was a gift from the women, and the reason why men sing it, right? We sing that song. Also, the very first sound that we hear is when we're in our mom's womb, and we hear that heartbeat, right? And so naturally, you'll see babies when they hear that drum, that they have an instant connection with that, as if they heard that before. And so when the men took that drum and they sing it, it was a gift. And so the reason why you didn't see the women singing on the drum is because they couldn't take that gift back, if that makes sense, right? It was a gift to the men. And and
Yeah.
so there are tribes though that where women do sing, and they do sit on the drum and sing. But I know there's deeper stories to it. There's deeper meanings, and there's in every they call it the uchi win, right? The origin, the story of it is different in every tribe. And so I can't just, because we're in a place with many tribes, many different places, that we can't just have that one story. But that's why we need to share, right? And then we can come up with some really good knowledge of it. And
And Shelly Cottrell better send you some virtual tobacco, some for that knowledge.
yeah.
A
uh,
virtual hi.
I post your channel on all these Facebook pages, homie. Native Pride Movement, Decolonized Culture, One People, One Continent, Indigenous Resistance Movement, Hiksano Tahu Aho. Hey, those are some good Facebook pages. If any of you guys want to check it out, you know, go and follow those pages as well. There's a lot of great content coming out nowadays. And I love all the knowledge that's being shared as well online. A lot of times you would have to travel and get your stemao ready, your tobacco, and give that to people. Love this. Keep up the great work. And Pawnee brother is making jewelry, Arari jewelry. If I'm not allowed to put that here, is that a Facebook page? IRARI jewelry. You guys look that up, right?
Um,
Um, it sounds exactly like the drum, the baby, the baby heartbeat. A baby's heartbeat's really fast, right? It sounds like that. So yes,
nice.
we hold the same teaching, and then so that's good. So we're not too far off with that stories and things like that, which is cool. And you're gonna find out that connects. But hey, guys, it's been a great show today. I don't know if this was really a show, but we just wanted to connect with you. Both Nate and I have to jump on to another meeting, another online kind of event where we're talking. But thank you guys so much for tuning in with us here today. We'll be back again 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time next week. And hopefully we have some even more good updates of everything that's going on. But thank you so much again, Sagitin. Wow, appreciate you all. Nate, you want to say anything?
Kisagi tinawa moistas.
Mm-hmm.
That's
We'll see you guys.
peace and see you later in Cree.
Mm-hmm. Ahoo.